Hello, my wonderful people. It's me, wonderlisa, and I'm very glad to see you again. Today, I thought about making something special, and it's a book. It's the philosophy book. Let's try to tap on it. So, I just thought about making a video when I will be reading an article from this book, because the idea of this book is that it has article on almost all of main philosophers, and it's really helpful. For example, if you want just to refresh your knowledge in any author or branch or approach, philosophical, and or you just want to have quick notes, because it's like main ideas, main points of the work of philosopher. So it's really nicely organized. So I'll open you a page about content. So it is divided on different eras, philosophical eras. So the first one is the ancient world. The second is the medieval world. Then Renaissance and the age of reason, the age of revolution, the next one is the modern world, and contemporary philosophy. So that's how it looks like. So I'm thinking, what article should I read to you as a try? So I have chosen Epicurus. That's how the page about him looks like. So, here in big letters it's written like the main quote or idea that you think of when you're speaking about Epicurus. So I'll try to read and talk a little bit maybe about it. So the book has like context, and every philosopher can see it has like short information about him. So the branch that we will be talking about is ethics, and approach is Epicureanism. That's very important card. I have to keep. So before his philosophy, late 5th century before Christ, Socrates states that seeking knowledge and truth is a key to a worthwhile life. Circa 400 before Christ, Democritus and Lysippus. I have some problems reading names of philosophers in English. Pardon me, because when I was studying it back in university, we were studying in Ukrainian. I know, of course, Russian names of it, but in English it's not always so easy for me. So Democritus and Lysippus conclude that the cosmos consists solely of atoms moving in empty space. After circa 50 years, or 50, I don't know how to say about the age. So, before Christ, Roman philosopher Lucretius writes De Rerum Natura, a poem exploring Epicurus' ideas. 1789. Jeremy Bentham advocates the utilitarian idea of the greatest happiness for the greatest number. 1861. John Stuart Mill argues that intellectual and spiritual pleasures have more value than physical pleasures. I will read a short biography of him. So, Epicurus was born to Athenian parents on the Aegean island of Samos. Epicurus was first taught philosophy by a disciple of Plato. In 323 before Christ, Alexander the Great died, and in the political conflict that followed, Epicurus and his family were forced to move to Colophon, now in Turkey. There he continued his studies with Nazianzus, a follower of Democritus. Epicurus taught briefly in Mytilene on the island of Lesbos and in Lapsacus on the Greek mainland. Before moving to Athens in 306 before Christ, he founded a school known as the Garden, consisting of a community of friends and followers. There he set down in great detail the philosophy that was to become known as Epicureanism. Despite frequent ill health and often being in great pain, Epicurus lived to the age of 72. True to his beliefs, he described the last day of his life as a truly happy day. That's what we can talk about of his life. Then let's concentrate on philosophy. So, Epicurus grew up in a time when the philosophy of ancient Greece had already reached a pinnacle of the ideas of Plato and Aristotle. The main focus of philosophical thinking was shifted from metaphysics towards ethics, and also from political to personal ethics. Epicurus, however, found the seeds of a new school of thought in the quests of earlier philosophers such as Socrates' examination of the truth of basic human concepts and values. Central to philosophy that Epicurus developed is the view that peace of mind, of tranquility, is the goal of life. He argues that pleasure and pain are the roots of good and evil, and qualities such as virtue and justice derive from these roots, as it is impossible to live a pleasant life without living wisely, honorably, and justly, and it is impossible to live wisely, honorably, and just without living pleasantly. Epicureanism is often mistakenly interpreted as simply being about the pursuit of sensual pleasures. For Epicurus, the greatest pleasure is only attainable through knowledge and friendship and a temperate life with freedom from fear and pain. Fear of death. One of the obstacles to enjoying the peace of tranquil mind, because reasons, is the fear of death, and this fear is increased by the religious belief that if you incur the wrath of the gods, you will be severely punished in the afterlife. But rather than countering this fear by proposing an alternative state of immortality, Epicurus tries to explain the nature of death itself. He starts by proposing that when we die, we are unaware of our death, since our consciousness or our soul ceases to exist at the point of death. To explain this, Epicurus takes the view that the entire universe consists of either atoms or empty space, as argued by the atomist philosophers Democritus and Leucippus. Epicurus then reasons that the soul could not be empty space because it operates dynamically with the body, so it must be made up of atoms. He describes these atoms of the soul as being distributed around the body, but as being so fragile that they dissolve when we die, so we are no longer capable of sensing anything. If you are unable to feel anything, mentally or physically, when you die, it is foolish to let the fear of death cause you pain while you are still alive. Epicurus attracted a small but devoted following in his lifetime, but he was perceived as being dismissive of religion, which made him unpopular. His thinking was largely ignored by mainstream philosophers for centuries, but it resurfaced in the 18th century in the ideas of Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill. In revolutionary politics, the tenets of Epicureanism are echoed in the vote of the United States Declaration of Independence: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So that's all. I don't know if I was reading quickly, really fast. I don't know. Tell me, how do you find it? But I like this book, and I like Epicurus and his ideas, and I like philosophy. So if anyone will if you will like this, I might film some series of